Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode on Donoram of Phoenix Wright, Ace Attorney. We're in episode 5, part 2, and we're going into the first day of our trial.
Oh, yeah, that should go great. How did the investigation go yesterday, Mr. Wright?
But frankly, there are still a lot of gray areas.
Did you prove my guilt?
Or rather, the whole thing is a big gray area.
Don't worry about me. I'm guilty. I'm ready to accept my fate.
I believe in you, sis.
Mr. Wright, let me offer you one word of advice. Go
Yes.
home. Go away. A defense attorney should never believe their client.
Okay.
The defendant is called to trial because they are suspected of wrongdoing. Never forget that.
Miss Sky, you remind me a lot of Mia. But there is one decisive difference between you and her.
You're a bald-faced liar.
And that is...
You're not a defense attorney.
I believe it's almost time for the trial. Good luck, Mr. Wright.
My first trial without Faye helping me. No one's going to bail me out this time.
We did see Mia Fey in the last trial
I'll be
without
alone in
Maya's
there.
help.
So I have to discover the truth all by myself.
No, we do have her.
Let's do it. I'll be with you the whole way.
Maybe she can science some way of helping.
She does seem like she's just a Maya stand-in right now.
Yeah. Only instead of allowing herself to be possessed by the victim, she's science. Welcome back, everyone. Court is now in session for the trial of Miss Lana Sky.
The defense is ready, Your Honor.
The prosecution has been ready for a while, Your Honor.
Edgeworth. It's been 2 months and I haven't been in a courtroom since his trial.
I hope that personal feelings will not be a part of the proceedings today, Mr. Wright.
Gasp.
I will choose the path I think is right, regardless of what those around me might say. The judgment to be made here is in our hands, not those of anyone else.
Very well, Mr. Edgeworth. Your opening statement, please.
Chief Prosecutor Lana Sky has committed an unpardonable crime. Not only this, but she was rash enough to commit it in the prosecutor's office lot. Wow, he's so much more forceful in person. I suddenly feel like confessing everything. However, she will now pay for her rashness with her life. There was a witness to her crime. A professional witness.
Well then, call your first witness, Mr. Edgeworth.
The prosecution calls its first witness, Miss Angel Starr, to the stand.
The cough up queen.
Haven't I seen you somewhere before?
You ordered the caviar lunch, right?
Oh, caviar! I've never eaten caviar before.
The judge is really wolfing it down. And for you, a Fiesta Bowl. Thanks.
Will the witness state her name and profession?
You, sir, did you order the fingerprint lunchbox?
Looks like rice with mouse droppings.
It is too early for lunch. Your name and profession, please.
Well, Your Honor, how does it taste?
This is why everyone raves about caviar. It's so tasty. It hurts. I always thought caviar would taste like pickled tapioca.
What the heck does pickled tapioca taste like?
Name, profession, now.
Me, the name is Angel Star, and don't go forgetting it. If I find myself running Lunchland these days, is that what you wanted me to say, Mr. Edgeworth?
Very well, witness. Please describe the incident to us.
The prosecution will wait. I am not finished eating.
Hurry it up.
Very well, Mr. Edgeworth. As you know, we usually call on the police to provide a description of a crime.
Your Honor, as Mr. Edgeworth has said to the court, I am a professional.
Uh-huh. And what does that mean?
Until 2 years ago, Miss Angel Starr was a special investigator with the police.
Okay.
She was a first-rate homicide detective.
Oh.
What? Miss Starr was a detective?
Oh, ha! I know who you are. Cough up.
Cough up, Queen Angel Star, Your Honor. Long time no see.
Very, very well. You may continue with the description, Miss Starr.
Just who is this lady? If I might have the court's attention over here.
Okay.
The parking lot at the prosecutor's office is divided into 2 blocks. A block is for the prosecutor's office personnel, and B block is for the visitors and the clients. A chain divider separates the 2 blocks.
I suppose that's to keep the visitors from taking up prosecutors' spaces, yes?
The crime took place by a car in the back of A block in the car's trunk. The killer stabbed the victim with this knife and went to drive the body out. Unfortunately for her, there was a witness and an arrest was made on the spot.
And who was this valiant witness?
Why, it was May, Your Honor. Parking lot floor plans.
Witness, did you see the very moment of the crime?
Of course, Your Honor.
Where were you standing?
Immediately after that, I apprehended the chief prosecutor.
Oh, was you. It seems rather cut and dry, doesn't it? Well, Mr. Wright.
I can't agree on principle, Your Honor. It seems that some poor losers are unwilling to accept the truth, Your Honor. Shall I proceed to crush what little hope they have remaining?
If you can, then give them your worst, Miss Starr.
Wait, are they talking about me? All right. So somehow I always knew a day like this would come. I was on my way to deliver a lunchbox to my boyfriend when I sensed something. Perhaps it was my finely honed detective's intuition at work. It's what's her name? The red house on
Edelgard.
Edelgard.
Yeah.
Through the wire fence, I saw the chief prosecutor standing next to a garish car.
Farewell, King of Delusion.
The chief prosecutor was holding a knife in her right hand, and then she thrust the pointy tip of the knife into Detective Goodman's chest.
Bringing a lunchbox to your boyfriend. How touching.
As you can see, there's no room for doubt.
The key point of your testimony seems to be nothing other than the point of the knife, which you saw being stabbed into Detective Goodman.
So how does it feel to be utterly crushed?
Oh, crush me, master.
I'm still thinking about that.
It's merely a flesh wound, Mr. Wright.
Goodman walks in. Yes, it was just a flesh wound. Very well, Mr. Wright. You may cross-examine the witness. All right. So.
All right, we'll just start pressing
yeah,
her.
let's
Start
that
pressing
seems like something
it.
you'd press anyway. Like,
How did you know?
her feminine intuition?
I respect the prosecutor's basic adherence of crime.
Abhorrence.
Yet their methods are ugly and twisted. Twisted methods will always lead to tragedy.
The lunch lady's uninformed opinion is duly noted.
Given that they are used to erasing inconvenient evidence at their whim, killing off a detective that knew too much was merely an extension of that.
Miss Starr, do you have something personal against prosecutors?
I felt that I had found my dream job when I became an investigator. And if I hadn't been laid off by those prosecutors over there, I'd still be one. Laid off? She was fired. To me, prosecutors are nothing more than worms. That said, I'm a pro. As you know, my testimony is unbiased and flawless.
Very well. You may continue, Miss Starr.
All right.
That one for sure.
Yep. This boyfriend, he's the detective? Not that boyfriend, the security guard.
That boyfriend. You have several?
Yes, this boyfriend, that boyfriend, the other boyfriend. Care to join? And yet another boyfriend position is still open for applicants.
I'll stick with the lunches, thanks.
Note to self, the judge had to think before replying.
It's upon the second level, so you can see everything from there. That would be the room with security on the sign. Incidentally, did you bring your lunch boxes by car? Since I'm a visitor now, I parked in B block.
So, she was in B block when she witnessed the crime.
But there's a fence between. How did she apprehend?
Yeah. Let's keep pressing those.
Okay, she saw through the wire
Yeah,
fence.
I sent something. Do that. You sensed something? So you're saying you had a premonition of the murder? It felt like, how would you say? Oh yes. It was like the feeling you get when you view a pumpkin chock full of seeds.
I have no idea what that means.
Speaking of detectives' intuition, wasn't the victim, Mr. Bruce Goodman, also a detective? Yes, well, he was like a young cheese.
A young sheep.
A pale white cheese, not yet tangy with experience on the streets, a greenhorn.
Then I must be a hard load and sharp as thick.
Yeah, with the odor of an old cheese to match.
In any case, there in the lot, I felt something stirring in the back of my mind. By garish car, you mean? Mr. Edgeworth's car, yes.
Mr. Edgeworth.
Incidentally, the knife with the victim, which the victim was stabbed, was also Mr. Edgeworth's. Wasn't it?
Indeed, it was.
What an odd case. And the person you saw, you are sure it was the defendant?
I saw her from no further than 30 feet away. I'm certain it was her. If she's telling the truth, we're doomed.
Just what? Let's do what we can. Even if we don't have any proof, we can always nitpick.
Yes, thank you for reminding us.
Witness, in your testimony, you clearly stated the following. Prosecutors are nothing more than worms. Ergo, you are a biased witness. You might want to keep those silly opinions to yourself in the future, rookie. Huh? Rookie? Unless you're willing to risk the consequences of doubting me? I'll fry you like a fritter, crispy on the outside, chewy on the inside.
That was inspiring.
I believe I heard that tagline elsewhere. You could cry plagiarism.
I may be relegated to the lowly post of lunch lady, but my instincts are honed.
Photograph? You took this?
The moment I witnessed a crime, my reflexes took over and snap, I took a picture. In fact, one of my lunch boxes is rigged with
What?
a camera.
Okay.
I suppose that's more exciting than just hanging it around your neck.
Witness, why am I only seeing this photograph just now?
You think I'd show it to you, a prosecutor? Think again. My boyfriend works in the photography division of criminal affairs.
Well, this is most certainly the defendant.
She doesn't have a knife in her hand, though.
She does have a bloody
coat.
jacket, though.
Yeah.
It looks like she's
But it
wearing.
actually looks like the guy's jacket,
Yeah.
not hers.
Yeah. I don't know. It fits her. And his
So-
jacket
That's why
was
she killed
white.
him. She
What
wanted
was
the
the
coat.
defendant doing at the time? Yeah, the overjacket is white with blood on it.
Yeah.
That was more of a taupe.
It was just a black and white picture.
Yeah.
What was the one before that? The true prosecutor was holding a knife in her right. Did we press that?
I don't know. We didn't.
Tell me more about the knife that the suspect was carrying. Well, I'd say the blade was about 4 inches long. Is that right, Mr. Edgeworth? It is your knife, after all.
Yes, that's about right.
Prosecutors are by nature very well versed in the location of a man's vital organs. I am sure it was easier than boiling an egg for my egg salad surprise set. You can't testify as to her ability to kill an egg. I mean a person. Perhaps a chicken salad set would have been a better metaphor.
So, the defendant was holding a knife. What then?
Well, then she thrust it. Tell the court why you didn't try to stop this crime. You did see her raise the knife to strike, no?
The defense has a point.
Unfortunately, by the time I realized what was going on, it was already too late. Too late? Yes, the next moment, the chief prosecutor brought down the murder weapon.
Okay, she was wearing a coat before.
I see.
It's only a flesh wound, Mr. Wright. We can make it.
You said that before. Anything else?
Scientifically speaking, Miss Starr's testimony is flawless.
Sounds fatal to me.
Okay, so
What do we do? Is this it? Is my sister guilty?
Let's just keep our heads cool and press a witness a bit, shall
she
we?
said she apprehended her at some point.
Yeah, which doesn't make any sense.
Because how did
Don't
she get
smile like
through the
that.
fence to apprehend her?
Yeah, so go further in.
Through the wire fence?
Yeah, we did that one.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've done them all, haven't we?
One. Keep going.
Can we present the photo of her not holding the knife?
She totally said she like apprehended him.
Yeah, she did. I don't know. It might have been before. Like that was in the testimony.
All right, what can we present?
No, not.
Can we present the phone? Be like, did you see her make a phone call?
I don't know where we do that. Yeah, I don't know.
All right, what else do we get besides that?
We have the knife. We have the floor plans. And we have that photograph she took where she
Let's
is
look at
not
this real
wearing a
quick.
knife or holding a knife.
Yeah, you got blood on the jacket, but not on her.
Yeah, I don't. She's not holding the knife in there. I guess they could
So
say.
can we show her that last picture with
Yeah.
this one?
Yeah, but how we hold her? Maybe presenting her with the photo now. Well, on that, yeah.
And you witnessed this. You saw Miss Sky stab the victim with the knife. Yeah. I swear to my finest salmon swirl lunch.
I'm sure this is a fine lunch. Yeah.
But isn't that odd? Look at this photograph. This is the photograph you took at the very moment of the crime, is it not? Then why is Miss Sky not holding a knife?
I am. Mr. Edgeworth, your thoughts?
Objection.
That had to be the weakest objection ever, Mr. Edgeworth.
Yet it was still stronger than your ever feeble mind, Mr. Wright.
What do you mean, Mr. Edgeworth?
This photograph was not taken the moment before the stabbing. This was taken the moment after the stabbing.
And how can you tell that? Blood splatter. See the dark crimson stains on the chief prosecutor's coat? But it's a black and white photograph. I mean, you can't really argue that.
It could just be dirt. You never know.
It's hard to tell, but it could be blood.
Well, Mr. Wright, I see no problem here.
No problem.
No problem except you. Mr. Wright, are you going to just sit here and take this kind of abuse?
You got a better idea? Objection.
Yeah, I guess we object.
Do
Yeah,
we?
really.
I guess?
Wait. That contradicts what the
yeah,
witness
totally.
said in her testimony.
Yeah, sure.
Namely, that she took the picture the moment she witnessed the crime. Well, it seems I was slightly unclear. My apologies. Ellipsis. That's it? If you run out of lunch, you order seconds, problem solved. If you don't like it, try ordering the jumbo-sized lunch then from the get-go.
Good advice. I'm not sure I understand it, but good advice.
I didn't have time to stop her. Prosecutor Sky was cold, calculating like a robot.
Yeah, that's just cold.
She killed without pain or remorse. It was a premeditated murder.
I don't know. It seems pretty hot-blooded.
Premeditated? How do you know?
Look at the chief prosecutor's hands in that photograph.
Well, are those gloves? They're lovely.
Surgical gloves made of thin rubber, most likely. Why would she have those on?
COVID.
Because she was handling evidence. If it was not premeditated, she would not be wearing those gloves.
Damn, that raw.
Wow. These gloves do seem to tell a tale of premeditation. That is
Premeditated murder is a serious offense.
Witness, add this to your testimony. Okay.
Guess we press her on that one?
Yeah. What if she was just in the habit of wearing gloves, like driving gloves? I mean, I do.
The gloves were admitted as evidence when the defendant was arrested.
Oh, how nice of you.
They were rubber gloves of the kind used for autopsies.
In other words, when the chief prosecutor came to the crime scene, she came to do the murder. That's the only possible conclusion
Can we
one
have
can
that for our
make.
court record, please?
Everything was planned. It was a premeditated crime.
Arg. Impressive. Sorry they took you off the force, Miss Starr.
She's got them thinking this was all planned. If she can prove this claim, the trial's already over. I've got to think of a way to show that it wasn't premeditated.
It's only a flesh wound, Miss Wright. We can make it. Scientifically speaking, Miss Starr's testimony is flawless.
Wow. It keeps happening.
Yep. What do we do? Is this it? Is my sister guilty?
Let's just keep our heads cool.
Yeah, let's see.
Let's go back through the statements.
Wait a minute.
Come on.
If it was premeditated, why did she rely on a knife that she found at the crime scene?
Where is it where she talks about the seeing it? Not that one. Not that one. That one. Sure.
The floor
what-
plans?
Yeah. Show her the Show her the map
Because
at
there
the very end.
doesn't seem to be a direct way for her to
Yeah. Show her that one.
Yeah.
get to. But I don't know if she never says apprehended in her testimony.
She did though, but I just don't know where.
I think it was
remember where
before when we were talking to her in the garage. Not sure I follow.
It clearly.
I agree. It doesn't.
Is there another?
You don't sound very much.
Wait, maybe I misunderstood. Was that one the shot of the car, or is that the map of the parking lot?
Map
That
of the
was
parking
map
lot.
of the parking lot.
Go back to evidence.
Okay.
What's on the other side?
It's just the.
That's the floor plans. That's the photo. So that's where she was looking.
Yeah, present her that one.
We're not seeing a body.
Your Honor, that statement contradicts this evidence.
This car is not garish.
It does? I don't see anything contradictory. Really?
Objection overruled. Try to think before you make accusations. That car is garish. Okay, so through the wire fence, saw chief prosecutor standing next to a garish car, and she was wearing gloves, but the knife was not on her. She didn't bring the knife. It was in the trunk of the car.
What about this random memo?
I don't know where we would bring that up. Okay.
I don't know either.
You know, my guess would have been to present the knife when it talks
Where's
about
the,
premeditation.
What's the last one about the rubber gloves?
Yeah, the rubber gloves, premeditation is what they're talking about.
Yeah.
Press that one.
We pressed it already.
Yeah.
Can we? Because
Present.
can we present the knife on that?
Yeah.
Yeah, we can try that.
Just present the knife on the premeditation because that's a knife that she found at the crime scene. Just a little gun shy about this now.
Witness, do you know what this is? Are you trying to test me? I sell lunches for a living, you know. That's a knife, the knife. The knife that was in Mr. Edgeworth's trunk.
Indeed, it is my knife.
What's with this case? The bloody murder weapon, a red car, all belonging to the prosecutor there.
The defendant is a chief prosecutor. Mommy, are prosecutors bad people? The defense has a request. We ask that the witness provide an accurate testimony. What's that, rookie? In your testimony, you stated that Lena Skye planned this murder.
Yeah.
And that was why she was wearing those special gloves.
Seems like a natural conclusion to me. The gloves do indicate planning.
However, why would she not also prepare the most important thing, the murder weapon? Oh. This knife just happened to be in the trunk of that car. Ladies and gentlemen, if you're going to plan a murder, you don't forget the goddamn weapon. Oh, whoa!
Order.
Great, now the tide turning in my favor.
Great show, Mr. Wright. My sister's as good as free.
Edgeworth.
Right. I believe the next lunch you'll be eating is humble pie.
What?
I hope you weren't deluding yourself into thinking that the tide is turned. Not over such a trifling detail.
But this shoots a hole in the whole premeditated theory.
Bah. The prosecution could care less if it was premeditated or not. The only one who seems to care is that lunch lady over there. The defendant, Lana Skye, murdered a detective with a knife. That is the only thing that the prosecution need prove. Nothing else.
Very good, Mr. Prosecutor. I suppose you think you're clever now? But you know as well as I do that she planned on killing him. It was planned. If it wasn't, why would she have been wearing...
I believe I'd like to hear your testimony again.
Witness, please tell us only what you saw, not what you thought.
Girl.
How dare you?
Yeah.
My powers of deduction are not to be underestimated. Really now.
Angel's deduction.
Lena Sky intended to murder Detective Goodman. That's why she was called the victim all the way to the prosecutor's office.
How did she know that?
I'm sure the chief prosecutor had a grudge against the victim. Nothing else could drive a human machine to plunge the knife in again and again.
Ah, but she's
Stabbed
only stabbed once.
Victim was summoned, and he may have died well before that picture was taken.
Yeah.
You don't see the body in the picture. It looks like she was stuffing it there.
So if I ordered a pizza, does it mean I'm planning to kill a delivery boy? Oh, of course.
In any case, the defense may now cross-examine the witness. So,
On the multiple times, like press,
yeah,
show her the
obviously,
autopsy
what we
report.
press, then show her the
I'm gonna press
autopsy.
all this
Yeah.
stuff. Like this one.
You can go ahead and present. Yeah.
You've said that, but you haven't told us how you know.
I hope the autopsy report
That's
also.
what I'm going to tell you, rookie.
I believe what she just said was a mere prelude. Try not to interrupt the lovely lady.
A rookie. Never interrupt a storyteller. It's like pulling a bun out of a half-baked, an oven half-baked. Something's half-baked here, all right, and it's you.
Try not to confuse the defense witness. They're not very quick on their feet. Now, why did you believe the suspect had intentions to murder the victim?
Her actions speak for themselves. You have no proof that Miss Sky called him there. You have no proof she didn't.
Mr. Edgeworth, thoughts?
There is no record of a call made on the defendant, Miss Lana Sky's phone.
She might have written him a letter. Come on. You could have tried public phone first at least.
In any case, the victim came to the prosecutor's office where he was murdered.
Sure, he had a reason to be there. Witness? Why do you think the suspect was summoned that day? And to who? Okay. What kind of grudge?
Well, I wouldn't know that. Of course you don't. That's because she didn't have a grudge. A rookie. I have a lunchbox here. Now, what's inside? How am I supposed to know? See, we agree there is a lunchbox here, but we don't know what's inside. A person's life is like a lunchbox with pretzels. And life is actually more like a box of chocolates. You never know what you'll get.
I get it. That's why my lunch was so salty.
God, he's terrible with metaphors.
The suspect had a grudge against Detective Goodman. Will you tell us your basis for this thinking?
It's simple.
There we go.
Present the autopsy report.
I'm going to press it
Yeah,
first.
we can press first, and then
A human machine. That's a goddamn.
a common
Please.
expression.
Can't you find fault with something of substance, Mr. Wright? Note to self. Mr. Edgeworth's eyes smell like citrus fruit.
Mm.
They do.
You say again and again. How many times did she stab him exactly? We often say chop into 1,000 pieces, but we don't actually mean 1,000 pieces. What's the difference? The deed was done.
Yeah, well, I guess let's just say she stabbed him several times. I'll leave it at that.
No, we're not going to leave it at that.
Yeah.
This is a murder case, people.
Mr. Wright, you should speak up if you have an objection, you know?
Oh, okay. Thanks for the hint.
Yeah. Miss Starr has turned out to be as short-tempered as she looked when
So
we
let's
met her.
Show her that not only was he stabbed once, he may have been stabbed several minutes, hours,
The short wick burns out the fastest. It's a fact.
like an hour and a half.
I wonder, wouldn't it depend on the size of the candle?
Within an hour and a half of 4 o'clock, was it?
I mean, add more wax, yeah. And even really short wick, and it'll burn longer.
Obviously, more scientific testing's required.
Okay, so
Yeah, that last statement present the autopsy report.
yeah. Hope the rest of these make actual sense too. Okay, so
Oh no, I did it. Dang it.
dig, dang it. All right, skip.
Diggity-doo.
Skip. All right.
Scroll forward cautiously.
Okay, autopsy report tells us everything we need to know. He was murdered before she was there in the garage. He was taken
One.
an hour and a half, within an hour and a half of 4 p.m. So yeah.
You say she stabbed him again and again, but you couldn't have witnessed that. Are you testing me? Then I'll test you. With my moss surprise.
I'm afraid the moss is growing under our feet as we wait, Miss Starr.
Pound question.
What do you mean?
I shouldn't have to explain this, but take a look. The autopsy report states that death was due to a loss of blood from one stab wound.
Aha, you're right. Good show, Mr. Edgeworth.
What a hug! He's my hero, really.
What about my objection? No one noticed?
There's a very obvious contradiction.
You got the crime scene set right. Wow.
Oh, thanks.
I always believed that no one would ever mistake ketchup for blood. But now I realize that mistakes are possible. So what did she mistake?
So, you're saying you mistook something for blood?
When she lifted her knife, I thought I saw blood at her breast. Splattered blood from her victim. That's why I thought she must have stabbed him at least twice.
Okay.
So the stuff on her jacket was ketchup.
Testify.
Her red muffler looked like blood. Oh my God, press that.
Yeah.
It's her red muffler.
Her classy red muffler.
Yeah, like a scarf. The chief prosecutor always wears one around her
Does
neck.
that count for the men too? Because it's stylish.
So she can easily be hanged at a moment's notice, I suppose.
Wow.
She's right. This guy was wearing a red scarf, wasn't she? But wait. Isn't it odd that you mistook that for splattered blood?
Around her neck. Well, people often mistake my beard for a bib.
A judge with a bib. That's why this place feels so much like kindergarten sometimes. Actually, I don't think I saw some traces of blood on her chest.
She does think.
However, the autopsy report is clear on this matter. There was only one knife wound.
Apparently, Miss Starr isn't entirely sure of her own testimony.
So the murder
Mr.
happened.
Wright, this is our chance.
Chance for what, I wonder? Miss Starr has turned out to be as short-tempered as she looked when we
We
met her.
didn't see any blood.
Challenging her ability as a
the
detective really set her
scene.
off.
The short not the fastest. I wonder, would it have been on this? Oh, that's. Well,
Like, we
already
didn't get a
said
photo of the crime scene, but there was no actual like blood there. But there wasn't at the samurai either. That was because the body was moved.
Yeah.
I guess present the photo because she's not wearing the scarf.
It's true. Yeah. What red muffler?
Yeah.
Check this out. Yep.
Yeah, no
muffler.
scarf.
Yeah, all that blood on her coat doesn't look at anything.
Miss Star, I demand an
The witness is clearly not suited for detective work.
Everyone's just tag teaming the witness.
The suspect was not wearing a scarf or a muffler of any kind when she stabbed the victim. And you've proved it yourself with this photograph.
But that can't be.
Only a professional lunch lady could be so utterly clueless. Congratulations. Perhaps you finally found your true calling in life.
Harsh words, but good.
In the end, Mr. Edgeworth prevails.
This
What?
this episode.
But what is what?
Wait.
But was there a scar? No, something red. Really?
Well, now, where were we? The witness has given us an entertaining interlude, but back to business.
What?
Very well, witness. Continue your testimony. You saw the crime and apprehended the suspect. Thank you, Judge. Right, let's bring us. Tell us about that. Tell us about how you could phase through walls.
Very well. I don't remember some things accurately, at least. Oh, wait, I do remember. Ultimately, we couldn't shake the most important part of her testimony.
The most important part?
She saw the murder.
Did she hear you think?
Apprehended.
The part where your sister stabs the victim.
Might be the moment of truth. Right? Apprehending the suspect.
After the murder, the suspect attempted to run behind a partition off to her side. I quickly caught her,
How?
explained her rights to her, and arrested her on the spot. Yes, when I arrested her, she mentioned the muffler. That's what had me confused in my earlier testimony. The chief prosecutor made an escape, but against Angel Star, resistance is futile. That
So,
second
floor
statement,
plans,
press
yeah.
that.
You are quite determined about this scarf, aren't you?
I strike like a snake and I bite like a cobra. That's me, Angel Star.
So floor plans finally coming in.
That wasn't a very good metaphor. First of all, a cobra is kind of a snake. Don't bother me with details unless you want to get bitten.
She throws out a Pokeball for Arbok.
No, thanks.
Note to self, Mr. Wright is weak against poisonous snake bites.
The chief prosecutor tried to resist, but her efforts were in vain. She knocked my hands aside, kicked over an oil drum.
It wasn't kicked over oil drum.
An oil drum? Hard to imagine.
So that's what's on her jacket.
Yeah.
But that was taken during
she's
the murder.
beautiful, but
supposedly.
deadly. A predator, this one. Leopard woman, rawr.
Very well, Mr. Wright. Your cross-examination, if you will. Okay, so we have the floor plan, so we definitely get something out of that.
Press that second statement.
We can press it all, I guess.
Yeah.
This one for
But
sure.
yeah, we can press and
Quickly
then
caught
present.
her. You say quickly. Were you close to the suspect?
There was a wall between you.
As I just said, I was only 30 feet away from her the whole time.
Run 30 feet so we can time
Maybe
you.
I should press her for more detail. Yeah, press her. I'd like to see this on the floor plans just to be safe.
Oh, we don't even have to present? The
Lunchroom car
was... Oh, Christ. Oh, it was in B.
She was in the visitor. Thus, she. Oh, this is Edgeworth.
Parked in B block.
So you witnessed the murder from here?
That would make it about 30 feet from the car. Yes.
Is this correct, Miss Starr? Yes, that's right. But there was a chain link fence. in
Chain
front,
link
you know.
fence.
Oh, yeah.
In front of you.
I went over it, of course.
It goes to the ceiling. Amazing. The Kaffa Queen Lunch Lady athlete indeed.
It would have taken her a little time to climb over the fence,
Plus, you'd hear it.
so she couldn't have gotten to my sister that fast.
Yeah.
Yeah, the fence was about
Okay.
9 feet high, too.
She bounded off the semi.
So how did Miss Guy not get away? Press that one.
Yeah. Well, not sure about what we can present. I
She
guess.
mentioned the muffler. What exactly did she say? If I remember exactly, I would have told you in my testimony. Cheeky. Anyway, all I heard her say was the word muffler.
Muffler. Just one word.
So, what you heard wasn't the suspect talking to you, but to someone else?
Yes, the chief prosecutor was talking on her phone.
Oh.
Her phone?
Okay.
She can't mean ask further.
Yeah.
By phone, do you mean this cell phone discovered at the crime scene? Yes, ultimately.
Ultimately?
My memory. It's like a salmon heading upstream, you see.
Nope. The court does not see, mister.
Even with eyes wide open. The chief prosecutor first attempted to use the phone hanging on
Oh,
the
yeah,
wall.
but it was out of service. On the wall.
That's right. That's right. Near the car, there was an emergency phone on the wall. Apparently, it was out of order.
Still is. And so she used her cell phone.
Indeed, the emergency phone was out of order that day.
Good witnessing, witness.
Good witness. What?
You should, of course, add this to your testimony.
The things I do to please this rookie defense attorney.
All right. The word muffler was overheard during a call.
But that call was to Emma, right?
The call, and nothing
press
was
that.
said on the phone. Like she
It's
just hung up.
behind the
Do
partition.
you
She
think you
couldn't see
could
it.
restate your testimony for the court?
Aha! I was going to ask the same thing.
I only say it one time, so listen close, rookies.
Yeah, there's no way she could see that.
Yeah.
The chief prosecutor stabbed the victim and ran behind the partition. She picked up the emergency phone on the
Yeah.
wall, but it was out of order. So she pulled out her cell phone out of her pocket.
Still couldn't see it.
That's not where we found the phone either.
Yeah.
And during that time, you climbed over the chain link fence. I thought we did find the.
It was on the other side of the partition.
behind the car.
Yeah.
And then I boldly grabbed her arm. The chief prosecutor hung up her phone. And you saw her doing this?
Okay, we didn't have to do anything.
What is it, Mr. Wright?
Oh, we do have to do something. I saw it all. Yeah.
Yes,
Floor
we gotta,
plans.
yeah.
You probably just need to press it.
We just did that. That's what we were just talking about.
Oh.
Yeah. Slap. Ha. Ha. Ha.
Miss Starr, I have to conclude that you have a personal grudge against Miss Lana Sky.
The witness is a former detective. Her testimony is unmarred by personal bias.
Well, who would have thought you would be my knight in shining armor, prosecutor? You who, together with the chief prosecutor, kicked me out 2 years ago. Well, Miss Starr, this is a fatal contradiction in your testimony. How do you explain this? I don't know what you're talking about. Mess with me, and I'll make you cough it all up. Let's look at the floor plans. You said you witnessed the crime from this point. However, if that's true, you couldn't possibly have seen Miss Sky making that phone call.
Eh.
I believe you see what I'm getting at.
Uh-huh.
That emergency phone was on the back side of this partition. If you indeed were in B block, you couldn't have seen it. What? What? Order.
Order. What's the meaning of this?
It's simple, Your Honor. She's a goddamn liar. She's not coughing up lunch. She's coughing up some lies. Gar.
That's quite a claim, Mr. Wright. Perhaps you will allow me a question. Tell us exactly what lie this witness has told the court.
Well, she said she saw and she
Here's
didn't
where the
see.
counterattack begins. I can't afford to get this wrong. The witness lied about
Where she saw it?
where she saw it. Miss Sky tried to use the emergency phone, but it was out of order. What is significant about this fact? Nothing. Therefore, it would be pointless for Miss Stark to lie about it.
Pointless to lie, I see.
Let's say the witness did actually see Miss Sky using the emergency phone. It would mean Miss Starr witnessed the crime from a different
Where'd
location.
that photo come from?
A different location? Now that's a pointless lie if I've ever heard one.
Before you call my lie pointless, at least let me tell it.
Let me ask a question to our clever wordsmith, Mr. Wright. Just where was the witness when she saw the crime? Well, stands
After
to
the
reason.
testimony you've heard until now points in one direction. The place from where Ms. Starr... Oh,
So somewhere around A.
So
But the picture
the
was...
picture was from like here.
Yeah. It would have, like... The photo was in line with her testimony.
the security room, maybe?
But that would make...
Ooh, right.
But is there a
I don't know how
fence?
she got that picture.
That-
still.
I don't know where the photo came from.
I think
But
security...
she did tell us she was up in the security room before.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Do
maybe
that.
she saw these things out of sequence. Maybe all of those lies were actually lies.
This is the only place where she could have been.
The security guard room.
Indeed, the security room in the underground parking lot is well positioned. It's built on the second floor so you can see the entire lot.
Yeah, she would have been able to see the emergency phone from there. But why there? There are many other places where she could have seen the phone.
Not in this case, Your Honor. The witness not being a part of the prosecutor's office couldn't park in A block. The only place where she could have seen the crime and the back of the partition is here. I remember in your testimony you said you brought a lunch to your boyfriend in the security guard room, yes? Well, Miss Starr, how many years have I been getting the better of men? To think that the tables could have turned. Today, a man has got the better of Angel Starr.
Order, witness. What have you done? You used to be a detective. You should know better.
I'm not turning back. The guilty will be punished. And I'll do what I must to make sure justice prevails. The guilty? Is she talking about Ms. Sky?
Mr. Wright, doesn't this strike you as odd? Why did Miss Starr lie? It doesn't make sense.
Huh?
She could have just said she saw the crime from the security guard station. It wouldn't change anything. Exactly. This photograph tells all. It was the defendant who stabbed the victim.
Okay.
That truth still stands.
It's still... Edgeworth, come on.
What?
If a witness is found to be lying, they're guilty of perjury. She knows this. She wouldn't risk that without a good reason.
So tell us what her reason was, Mr. Wright.
Me?
Who else?
Mr. Wright, let's review what we know.
Right.
Miss Starr witnessed the crime from the security guard.
That spatially makes no sense.
Yeah, who took that picture?
But she lied and said she saw it from B Block.
Like, even if there was a wire fence
Oh, well, what about the cowboy guy?
That's
possible,
true. Boyfriend number 2.
Um,
Angle of view of the crime.
I say distance to the crime.
I want to say angle because that picture doesn't make sense. She couldn't have taken it.
But what was that?
I don't know. I'm still saying distance to the crime.
It would. It
All
would.
right,
It
we'll
would.
try it
It
out.
would explain why
I
she
mean,
got there so fast.
Yeah, that's the only way she could get there. And
It changes the distance between her and the scene of the crime.
my condolences, Mr. Wright. But one look at the floor plans, and it's quite clear.
But she'd have to go over the fence.
Yeah.
I don't see how that would change what she could see.
But what she saw is not in question here. What matters is the time it would take her to reach the scene of the crime.
Huh?
Miss Starr, you witnessed the crime from the security guard station. Now, how long did it take you to go from there to the scene of the crime where you arrested Miss Sky?
Well, witness.
You. Yes. You ordered the squid wheels, right? The quality of my lunches has gone from low to inedible. I was bringing a PB&J lunch with freshly boysenberry jam to my boyfriend.
Boysenberry for the boy.
He wasn't in the station, so I waited. I witnessed a crime through the glass wall station.
Then she ran downstairs.
And before I knew it, I found myself running toward the scene. But the door was locked, and I couldn't open it. Oh, that's right. The door was locked. Okay. That's why I had to go through the visitors parking in B block.
That's quite a detour. So she took.
It probably at least took me 5 minutes to get to the scene of the
she
crime.
was just loitering around.
Yeah.
5 minutes. 5 minutes. This changes a lot.
But it was that woman over there in the defendant's chair who stabbed him. I'll know it. I have photographic evidence. I'll swear it. I swear it on my finest plastic spork.
But there's still that partition. Could she have seen over it? You have a point. The spork is a wonderful invention.
I mean, it's just a matter of like, Lana should have been able to get away in 5 minutes.
Yeah. Yeah.
How about that caviar?
Absolutely.
Oh, God.
Mr. Wright, you have to do something.
Raise an objection. I mean, I get
Yeah.
why, what else? 5 minutes between witnessing the murder and their. Think about it. Come on, you couldn't you could make pasta in that amount of time if you do it like al dente. I've got a lunchbox of pasta into knots, rookie. A 5 minute blank. Isn't that strange?
Strange.
Yeah.
If you were a criminal, I mean, freaking think about it. What would you do with 5 minutes, Your Honor?
Well, I guess I'd flee the scene. Don't get the wrong idea. I didn't kill anyone.
But you have the instincts of a killer. You would. This time was different. Miss Sky dwaddled at the scene of the crime. She even had her picture taken. No true criminal would act this way. It's inconceivable. Yarg!
Well then, seems we've come to the end of this testimony. The witness has a grudge against the defendant and a blank in her testimony. Mr. Edgeworth is the next witness ready to go.
Unfortunately,
We have to wait.
I appear to have overestimated this witness on account of her professional history. We did it! We screwed that can shut, Mr. Wright!
That was pretty close.
I'm afraid that the cough-up queen has been dethroned. And with that, court is adjourned. Oh?
Oh, lunch on her.
And Mr. Edgeworth, you ordered the squid wheels, right?
Oh, she's going to help us, maybe.
Oh, God.
I prefer not to take the defense team's leftovers. Anything else to say?
I might be able to save you. I have decisive evidence.
What was that?
Is this another one of her trick lunch boxes?
My apologies, but we have no further questions to ask of you.
Is this your jumbo lunchbox?
Woohoo! A triple-decker. Out of deference to the witness's determination, I'll allow one more testimony. Let's hear about this decisive evidence.
Like the Lunchland motto says, you won't be disappointed. What's she going to pull out of her lunchbox this time?
Decisive evidence.
I should have mentioned those 5 minutes when I wasn't looking at the crime scene. And now, to the matter of the victim's shoe. I didn't bring this
You
up.
did not bring this up.
2 types of blood were found on the shoe.
2?
What? One was, of course, the victim's.
So,
Duh. And the other type matched the defendant, Miss Lana's guys.
Why would she be bleeding?
And how could she tell the difference between 2 different bloods?
she did say that she cut herself while stabbing the victim.
Yeah. This shoe proves it's flawless, decisive evidence.
My question is how she got that blood analyzed without the police knowing about it.
Yeah.
There was blood.
There was blood on that shoe.
Try Lunchland for all your lunch and decisive evidence needs.
Why were you holding out on everyone?
Witness, what is the meaning of this?
Yeah.
Why is this the first time I've heard of this evidence?
As simple as I've already said, I don't trust you with evidence, Mr. Edgeworth. That's why I took the liberty of investigating this myself.
I think that's obstruction of justice.
Yeah. Definitely is.
And you had blood tests
Yeah.
performed?
Didn't I mention I have 3 boyfriends in forensics?
In any case, Your Honor, I can't accept this as evidence.
What?
You must know the 2 rules of evidence law. Rule number 1, no evidence shall be shown without the approval of the police department. In other words, this shoe is illegal evidence, at least for the time being. Is that right, Mr. Wright?
Yeah.
It seems so. Edgeworth sure is celebrating. And not so fast, Mr. Edgeworth. Don't forget, I used to be a detective. As I mentioned previously, this shoe has already been tested by a member of the forensics department. As you can see, it was approved by the police department as of today. Even the general public can produce official evidence, Mr. Edgeworth.
Wow.
Is that right, Mr. Wright?
I guess so.
It seems so. Edgeworth is looking pretty sullen.
You could at least study some evidence law, really. Yeah, like how does Phoenix Wright not know this?
Prosecution's complaints notwithstanding, it appears this evidence satisfies the first rule of evidence law. However, seems you have yet another count against you, witness.
Anything to ensure that the guilty is properly judged.
Goodman and Lana.
Oh my God. Press her on that.
Press on everything. Press everything.
Yep.
Should you have, or should you have not?
Why did he lie about those 5 minutes? I guess he could say I just wanted people to look at the results. The results? How many times do I have to say this? I saw the chief prosecutor stab the victim before my very own eyes. Compared to that, a 5-minute blank means nothing.
Then why didn't you just tell the truth?
Don't make me laugh. We're dealing with the most untrustworthy of vile lot known to prosecutors. Falsified evidence, arranging testimonies, erasing and manipulating evidence. When you fight monsters, you use every trick in the book. This when the suspect is admitting she did it.
False testimony is the most despicable crime of all, Miss Starr. Let's just get this over with. You did not bring that up.
Yeah. And you found this shoe at the scene of the crime? I detained the chief prosecutor and notified the police department. I wanted to make myself useful while I was waiting for the police to arrive.
So, like an ill-trained pooch, you snuck off with the shoe.
I was afraid someone would erase the chief prosecutor's crime. This shoe was my secret weapon if that should happen. See this fashionable basket I have here? It carries more than lunchboxes, gentlemen. I'm happy for you and your lunchbox bag, really.
In any case, you removed valuable evidence from the scene of the crime. Now tell us what you did next. Okay.
Yeah, this is the
Okay.
one I want to hear.
Yeah.
So you brought it to the forensics department? If you're going to submit something as evidence in court, you need it approved. To do that, evidence must be analyzed by a forensics expert. And she got away with her little coup because she used to be a detective.
The shoe does appear to have bloodstains on it.
Well, the man was stabbed after all. And the blood belongs to the victim, Detective Goodman. As I said, there were 2 types of blood found on the shoe.
So it only matched her blood type, though.
Oh, yeah.
You can't say for sure the blood belonged to the defendant with the blood test. You claim to know something about blood tests, rookie? Well, speak up. Blood comes in 4 types,
Yeah.
A, B, O, and AB. However, you can't tell from a blood test whether a murder was committed in cold blood.
It's just a figure of speech, Mr. Wright.
Actually, we can differentiate between millions of types with all the blood tests out there. Which means that we can more or less narrow any sample of blood down to just one person. Or so I hear.
That's pretty specific. If I had a little more time, I would have gotten a DNA test. I would have gotten DNA test results. But they said that's very little doubt that it could be anyone but Lena Skies.
So the suspect's blood was found on the victim's shoe.
That ties her directly to the death of Detective Goodman.
It's flawless.
Can we look at our evidence?
I want to press her on this first.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, go ahead. I can't
Yeah.
let this evidence go
It
through
has to be
without a
flawed in
fight.
some way.
He
Peppered
ordered the peppered fish guts, right?
How many boxes does she have back there?
Some like it
yeah.
hot.
Some like your client. She's in enough hot water to make a whole vat of soup.
Mr. Wright, do you or don't you have a problem with this shoe?
It's white after Labor Day.
Use her little.
It doesn't go with her
Invest-
black outfit at all.
Well, and
Yeah.
use
Oh,
her
it's the
little.
it's
Use the
victims.
investigation tool when you can.
There's a problem.
There's a
There's
problem.
a problem.
Let me look at this shoe.
If I'm not imagining
You want to
things,
look at it before we go through
Yeah.
this?
yeah. If it
You can
lets you.
profiles it.
Or check it. Or yeah.
Okay, so there's blood on the
Okay,
that side.
Yeah.
This
This
blood.
is
blood is my sister's, right?
It appears so. Lena's right hand was bandaged when I
It
saw
was
her
indeed.
in jail. She must have cut herself at the time of the
Like
crime.
she said she did.
Poor sis.
Cut herself. Okay.
Where's the size of the shoe? I don't believe it's really hers.
Oh, she stepped in blood. Or he stepped in blood.
Ah, there's blood here too.
Oh, the sole of the shoe. It's got to be the victim.
He stepped in his own blood and slipped like an idiot.
He must have stepped in a puddle of his own. Yeah.
All this blood, it's horrible.
But there was no blood at the crime scene that we were
Yeah,
allowed to
that's
see.
Well, it might be a clue.
I hope the game will explain that
All right.
because I don't know if it's just like a graphics limitation.
Can you present the
We're not
blood?
done pressing it yet.
Oh,
There's one clear contradiction. Still young.
I'll give you a peppered fish gut now. But you couldn't take the heat, could you?
Let's hear what Mr. Wright has to say. What is contradictory about the victim's shoe? Show us the problem.
Use your index finger. Show the bottom.
Yeah. Kalik. Take that.
Well, I wonder if you the blood on the bottom. Don't mess with me, rookie, or it'll be your blood on the bottom of the shoe.
Indeed, there is quite a bit of blood on the bottom of this shoe.
It makes sense. The victim was stabbed with a knife. What could possibly be contradictory about blood on the bottom of this shoe? Well, let's take a look at this photo.
Yeah, present the
Let's
yeah.
double check this. Yep, no blood on the ground.
No blood at all, or body for that matter.
The problem lies in the footprint. The footprint.
There isn't any.
Note the bottom of the victim's shoe is covered in blood. Then isn't it strange? Why weren't any bloody footprints found by the scene of the crime?
The so-called scene of the crime. Oh, ha.
We have 2 potential more days of trial left here. As you can see, there were no traces of any footprints at the scene of the crime. That contradicts your goddamn claim.
This picture only shows part of the floor, so there could have been bloody footprints.
But none were found.
Where are they? Where are they, frickin' Miles? Because we checked the scene and found nothing.
Order, order, order. Well, witness. I'm upped.
Great going, Mr. Wright, but it's true that the lack of a footprint is a contradiction. But then we have to ask why there wasn't a footprint.
He hovered
Oh.
like a witch. That's true. There has to be a reason why there wasn't a footprint because the crime was carried out
Mr. Wright,
elsewhere.
think.
Because
Well-
he was murdered elsewhere and relocated.
I don't know why there's not. I'm just good at finding contradictions. I don't really think beyond that.
Edgeworth, save us again.
Yes, he was stashed in the trunk of my car. I see. Now I get it.
Get what?
Our witness is more devious than I gave her credit for. We were hoodwinked to the very end. But she slipped. There is one vital hint to the truth in her testimony.
What are you talking about?
Think back to when she told us about apprehending the suspect.
The chief prosecutor tried to resist, but her efforts were in vain. She knocked my hands aside and kicked over the oil
The water
drum.
from the oil drum.
Oh, she's beautiful but deadly. A predator, this one.
Leopards
Rawr.
don't like water.
Cats don't like water. Here.
I thought that was a strange thing for the normally cool-headed chief to do.
No kidding.
Now, witness, allow me to ask a very simple question. This oil drum, was it empty?
I'm not sure. I like your attitude, Mr. Edgeworth. Though apparently you're not the slowest conveyor belt in the lunchbox factory.
Witness, well, was the oil drum empty?
The oil drum kicked over by the chief prosecutor was brimming with water.
Hell of a kick.
Water? What does that mean?
Phoenix.
Still don't get it, Mr. Wright. Do you want to know the reason she knocked it over? The real reason?
Aha. You don't mean.
Yes, the suspect knocked over that oil drum for one reason and one reason alone.
To drown the victim.
To erase the bloodstains that would become evidence against her. Then why wasn't she like soaking wet? Or
Yeah.
anything else soaking wet?
That ties things up quite nicely. The bloodstains left on the victim's shoes tie her quite clearly to murder. Then, after the deed was done, she knocked over the oil drum to erase the telltale signs.
Why, that a prosecutor's specialty, erasing evidence? That reminds me, this guy's right hand was hurt.
Yep,
She didn't say she cut herself when she stabbed him.
what she said. That's what I said. That's what I said.
So that's when my sister got blood on her shoe.
Well,
Which is odd.
see no
'cause
reason to
I don't
go
know
on
how a
this stuff.
hilt of a knife would cut your hand.
Yeah.
maybe she like
Mr. Wright,
Went
do
over the
something,
handguard.
please.
Unless that's not the hand she used to kill him. What can I do? Your sister has confessed to the crime, and she tried to conceal it.
But enough. There is no need for further debate. The verdict, Your Honor.
very well.
But Angel Star is on the prosecution side. She could have been lying about the water.
This court finds the defendant, Miss Lana Sky. Huh?
Oh,
Drama. Little girl, what did you just say?
huh?
Eh,
Me?
Did you say that I, Angel Star, was on the prosecution side?
Oh,
Well, yeah, you are. You're saying my sister hid evidence by erasing bloody footprints.
Well, I thought you had your fill, but here you are demanding second helping. Another lunchbox called evidence.
wait. Witness, don't tell me you have something else.
The time for deliberations is past. Any further comments, and you'll be held in contempt of court.
Your threats don't scare the cough up queen. Look at this.
Okay.
That's pretty gruesome.
You have another photograph.
I had it just in case anyone had the gall to suggest that the white shoe didn't belong to the victim.
I see no room for error in this evidence.
Mr. Wright, wait. Look at the asphalt in this photo.
There's no blood.
Hey, it's clearly wet.
It is wet, though. Erasing the last trace of doubt from the court's mind. Immediately after murder, the crime scene was washed with water.
I sorry, Mr. Wright. I guess I couldn't help after all.
Okay. Knew I couldn't win this case from the beginning.
Yeah. And it seems this is what your sister wanted anyway.
It is.
Ellipsis. I'm sorry, Mia. Ellipsis. Ellipsis. Ellipsis.
Oh,
Ah.
Right. Wet or not. Don't be so quick to throw in the towel. Ellipsis, bang.
Oh, we do get ghost help.
Get yourself up off the asphalt and take another good look. Don't give up. Not until the bitter end. This
Maybe
is the
we
last
can.
piece of evidence. Very well.
This is time to declare a verdict for good. I hope we don't have to like zoom in on this guy's watch to find the time. We do have that.
Your Honor, wait.
Can we at least look at that photo? What is it with you people? Why won't you leave me alone? Why don't I just hand down my verdicts in peace? What do you want? We're gonna wait.
No, then it will be too. God damn.
Damn it, Phoenix.
Look at the photograph of the last one submitted.
Yeah, thank you.
This trial isn't over until we give each piece of evidence a proper consideration.
Also, this evidence really should have
so right.
been in hand before.
Are you saying there's a problem with this latest piece of evidence?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll think later. Yeah, there's a goddamn problem. I'll tell. Last time I checked, this was America or Japan or something.
Suppose since we've come this far, we can give every claim a fair shake. Okay, go ahead, waste my time.
Oh, I just saw it. Look at the tailpipe.
The muffler.
The muffler and the muffler.
Why?
The problem in this photograph is here.
Rotten muffler.
What's this?
There's something poking. Oh, yeah.
Out of the car's muffler.
Just a moment, Mr. Edgeworth.
Your Honor.
You just said muffler. However, I see no trace of a muffler or scarf of any kind in this photograph.
A muffler is also a part of a car or motorcycle, Your Honor. Just think of it as part of the exhaust system, a pipe.
I see, and I see. What's that suspicious-looking cloth sticking out of the car's muffler?
Ah, so what if there's something sticking out of the muffler? What does that have to do with this case? Flippy dippy. Nothing. Absolutely nothing.
Mm-mm.
Sorry, Miss Starr, but it's not going to be that easy. In fact, you've already told us why this is important to the case. You said as much in your testimony. What?
Let's hear what Mr. Wright has on his mind. Tell us why you think this piece of cloth in the muffler is related to this case. Well, testimony
Let's
says...
see.
Excuse me.
That
Present
one.
the present
Mutter-
the
word muffler, overheard.
yeah. Miss Starr, recall your testimony for the court. Ah, yes. When I arrested her, she
muffler.
mentioned the muffler. That's what had me confused in my earlier testimony. Mony. Muffler, arg, yarg. Could it be that the muffler you heard mentioned was actually the exhaust pipe? If so, that means this piece of cloth is vital evidence. Oh, whoa!
Woohoo. Well, it seems we have to suspend the proceedings.
Suspend?
I find myself wondering about that piece of cloth. If we leave any question unanswered here, we do a disservice to the law. Have the car at the crime scene inspected at once and bring me that cloth. The verdict will wait until after we have seen all the evidence. Agreed?
I suppose so.
Woo! That was close. But we made it. At least for now.
This court will adjourn for a 30-minute recess. It's lunchtime.
He's still hungry. All right, and with that crazy trial, that brings us to the end of part 2. Join us for part 3 in episode 5 as we see where this takes us even further.
Muffler!
Muffler. Thanks for watching.